paying attention to this pop the balloon shit, Arlette cut the fucking plug out. I ain't gonna lie. It says the pop the balloon drama got 1,000% worse. Poetic Flacco. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I just know there's gonna be some shit.
Drama with Arlette, Amuli, and BM continues. They responded back to the backlash they got for putting automatic copyright claims, stopping reaction channels from making money off of any reactions they do from their videos, even if the reactions is fair use. Obviously, this had people very upset because reaction channels have been making bank, have been reacting to Pop the Balloons, and they were even encouraged to react to the channel and react to the videos from Arlette and BM themselves.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even get a chance to cook on them hoes. Like, did I even make a pop the balloon reaction video? I don't even know yet. But like, damn.
So here is their reaction and here is their fix to the situation. In response to the backlash, Arlette writes, as of recently, a reactor channel ran our video through their content ID system and we got hit with a copyright claim on our own video. Producing this content takes a lot of work and organization, so as you can imagine, this was a major setback and a huge issue to sort out. This was a reminder of how important it is to protect our work. So here's what we're doing next. We've partnered with Future Limited to manage our content and monetization on our channels. We're launching a revenue sharing program for reactors. If you create reaction content and want to stay in the loop and earn from it, apply through the link in the description box of our latest upload. If selected,
apply through the link. The fuck?
If selected, you'll get a response by email. We look forward to reviewing your submission. I'm one of the creators who've never had an issue with Arlette being put in content ID claims on their content. So anybody who reacts to it, you won't make $1 from it. I've always said, listen, bruh, if these people want to monetize their content, they have the right to do so. You as a reaction channel, react to something else. But that's because I was under the guise of this was about monetization. This was about wanting to make the most money they can. But from reading that, a bunch of red flags began to go off for me. Like my radar began to go off because I started to realize the goal here is not really about monetization. It's about control. Because if it was about monetization, they don't have to go through these extra steps.
Exactly.
Such as the revenue sharing program, click the link, apply if selected. You don't have to go through the extra step. How things like this work, if you're with a network who's doing content ID claims for you, you tell them what you want the claim to be. If you want it to be completely demonetized, we get all the money, it can be that. If you want a rev share where, hey, yo, put a rev share content ID claim to where they get 60%, we get 40%, they get 70%, we get 30%, or vice versa, that's it. And anybody who reacts to any one of your content, the rev share will automatically click in. Like they get 70, you get 30, they get 60, you get 40. So the extra step of having to apply tells me, okay, this is something much deeper, and I don't feel like it was ever about monetization, and I'm not sure I'm buying that specific story. So when I went to their application link, it pretty much solidified what I was already thinking because, again, I know how YouTube works. This is not really about monetization. This is about control. Arlette and BM are super Christian. They're super dedicated to their faith. And that's why they started Pop the Balloon anyway, is to give people the match because they believe in love and they believe in marriage. So when they began to get popular, I feel like what happened is they began to see the reaction channels and they began to realize, oh, what's going on with these reaction channels is far off from the brand that we built. Some are vulgar, some are nasty, rude, some is targeting people, and they felt like they couldn't control it. So these copyright claims and now this application, I think is their way of deterring people from reacting who they don't want to react and reward the people they believe fit their Christian guidelines. So if you go to the application says revenue sharing program, Arlette and BM. Now, when you read it, it says, thank you for your interest in joining our official revenue sharing program for content creators and reactors. To be considered, please complete the form in full. The program offers a 60-40 revenue split in favor of the reactor. Please note, participation is subject to approval at our sole discretion. You will be required to adhere to the content usage guideline outlined below. Yeah, it was never about monetization. These people make enough money off their content. I don't feel like they're scrambling for the other pennies left. No, this was all about control. They want to deter reaction channels. They don't want any reaction channels, to be honest, right? And they continue. If selected, you'll get a response by email. We look forward to reviewing your submission. So it continues. And these are the rules that the reaction channels must adhere to. Reactors may only comment on behavior presented on the show. They may not encourage or personally participate in harassment campaigns, including visiting contestants' social profile to attack or insult them, doxing or exposing off-show personal details. That's the thing. He's targeting, well, mediocre tutorials reviews. He's a YouTube channel who, during his reviews, he goes to their profile to see if their profile in real life matches up with their on-show persona. And most of the time, we realize it don't. Girls will come on the show and say they want a man of God. Then you go to their Instagram and you see a OF link. So things like that get called out.
So y'all trying to stop people from getting exposed for their true selves? Because I used to fuck with Pop the Balloon for that. Like, people getting exposed for the bullshit in the comments. I used to go straight to the comments. I don't know if I'm the only one, but after a full episode of Pop the Balloon, I'm in the comments, bro.
I think if you present yourself on a public forum, especially a channel that's doing about 2 million views per video, if you present yourself in that public video, well, you're opening yourself up for criticism. You are now a public figure. So the fact that they're trying to control that, to me, is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to me, right? I don't know anybody who will sign up for this, right? They're telling you how you could react. Now, obviously, things like doxing and exposing and harassment campaigns is foul, and nobody should do it. But people are not allowed to give a critique anymore. They're not allowed to tell the full story, right? When you see somebody who's now a public figure, you're not allowed to go to their Instagram and make an assessment of it, their public Instagram. I think that's kind of crazy, right? Bro, going to somebody's public Instagram isn't doxing at all. Respect and non-defamation clause. Reactors may critique the show content, but cannot defame or spread misinformation about. So they can critique the show content, but they can't talk about BM or Arlette as public figures or producers. And this is where I say, bruh, this is nasty. I understand wanting to say, yo, maybe we don't want certain reactions, but trying to leverage people's income to avoid public criticism, to me, is not right, is wrong, honestly. BM and Arlette are public figures. They're open to scrutiny, just like I'm open to like scrutiny. People are gonna talk about you as a public figure. Leveraging, hey, bro, if you want to make this $10.25 on YouTube, you better not critique us. So they're not allowed. Again, if me as a reactor, what I mean, because I've never really critiqued BM or Arlette. I love Arlette. I love BM. I've never had a personal problem with them. But if somebody do have a problem with them, they should be allowed to express that, right? Like, yo, somebody should be able to watch. Okay, for example, at the reunion, I think when BM and Mozzie got, went back and forth about Mozzie's private jet. Yo, somebody should be able to look at that interaction, make an assessment, and critique BM. I feel like leveraging the pennies a reaction channel can make off of this in exchange, for their silence, in exchange to put a muzzle on them, I think is crazy. And you cannot critique the Pop the Balloon brand as it relates to BM and Arlette. So they just don't want no public scrutiny, no public critique at all. Accusations or narrative twisting that harms reputation. I don't know who will sign up for this, bro. This, again, man, this is all about control. And this is so vague. Accusations or narratives. What counts as narrative twisting? If I have an unfavorable opinion, would that count as narrative twisting? It goes hate speech, harassment, or bullying misogynistic, racist, or slander. And this is where it goes. This right here has been an issue with a lot of these dating channels. All right. The women come on these channels and they behave a certain way. So hence the men react to them behaving a certain way. And those women have an issue with it. And they claim it's coming from misogyny, it's coming from red pill. I know Kendra G has a huge issue with people reacting to her dating show and critiquing the women. It looks like enough women has complained to BM and Arlette about them being criticized, about them being held accountable by reaction channels, and they don't like it. So now, if you do a reaction channel and you're somebody who's doing a reaction channel and you feel like a woman is doing something dumb or she's doing something stupid, well, guess what, buddy? Guess what? You can.
On this channel right here, I do and say what the fuck I want. Let's get that clear. To all the women, to all the men, alien, lizard, I do and say whatever the fuck I want on this channel.
Give an honest opinion on what you think they're doing wrong. You know why? Because that pennies you're making, that 60% is going to be no more. And to me, that's kind of messed up, man. Now, if you're not understanding exactly like what they mean by misogynistic, is they have a similar argument to Kendra G. So I'm going to play you Kendra G confronting a reaction channel for reacting to her content. And from her point of view, you'll pretty much be able to tap into what Arlette and BM thinks.
You said something earlier, so let me deep dive in this. Are you one of those reaction people to my show?
I have did some reaction, not no bad reaction, but I have did some reaction. Yes.
I don't like you guys. So I'm gonna start there. I think it's whack. Do you talk about?
Right then and there, he was to cut her off and start cooking. Let me start there. You an ugly bitch. You old as fuck, and you not married still, bitch. Kevin Samuels was fucking right.